Hello and welcome to the Tulare Public Library. In this video, we are going to highlight our online database called JobNow, which our patrons have free access to with the use of their library card. JobNow provides incredible resources and information about resumes, job interviews, career test preparation, and career-related tutorials. I especially love the Live Resume Expert and Resume Lab features, which allows patrons to submit their resume and receive professional feedback. My hope is that this introductory video will give you a sense of what JobNow has to offer and increase your confidence in exploring it yourself. But if you have any additional questions, please feel free to give library staff a call at 559-685-4500, as we're always here and happy to help our patrons better understand how to use the resources available to them. So let's get started on our website here. The way I can find that is by typing in tularepubliclibrary.org. From our homepage, you can scroll down and click on Research and Databases. All of our databases are listed under the complete list of databases here at the bottom, and they are listed alphabetically. So if I'm looking for JobNow, I could scroll to J's and click there. I would also like to point out that we do have a specialized drop-down called Job Resources. Not only will you find JobNow here, but you can also find other databases that have resources geared towards job seekers. So let's go ahead and click on JobNow. All right, great. So I'm going to walk you through a couple of features of the interface here. The first thing I am going to do is log in. Some of the features on the JobNow site are more accessible or only accessible if you use your account. It's completely free to Tulare Public Library patrons, all library patrons rather. And the great thing about it is it asks for very little information to get signed up. When I created my account, I believe it only asked me for my name, my email, and then a username and password. So I'm just going to log in here so that I have access. And that way it'll make it easier for us to walk through this virtual demo. Okay, great. So let's start with a couple of the features. So you'll notice that I'm logged into my account. The other thing that I wanted to point out is this is also available as an app, which you can download via Google Play or the Apple App Store. So if you prefer not to view it on your desktop, keep in mind that there is app access. The other thing that I wanted to show you is this quick search. So this is actually a quick search which will take you directly to Indeed.com. So say that I'm looking for an accounts receivable position in Tulare, California. I'm going to hit search, and you'll notice it will use those search points in the actual career recruiting site Indeed. So you'll notice that I have accounts receivable at California Dairies that came up 6 days ago, in and around the area that I searched. So I see some in Hanford, some in Visalia. So if I was interested in applying for this job, of course, I could click here, apply via the company website, get a description of the job on offer, qualifications, benefits, things like that. All right, so let me go ahead and X out here. Just wanted you to be aware that this is what the quick search is, a quick search to Indeed.com. All right, so let's start. I'm going to start on the left-hand side here with all of the features and resources they have for resume building. So let's just go through those one by one. First that I wanted to point out is resume templates. So if I click here, JobNow is going to give me 3 different types of resume templates that they recommend, along with an example of each. So if I click on chronological resume template here, meaning if I'm applying for a job, I'm going to list my previous experience chronologically, meaning starting with the most recent and moving back in time. This is the template that I could use. So I'm going to, so when you click on it, it'll download as a Word doc, and then I'm going to open from there. So you'll notice that I have my template here, which I could replace with my information. And the really great thing about these templates is you'll notice that there is text here in red. Those are tips and advice that JobNow is giving you about using this type of template. So if I look at the first note here, it's telling me the difference between an objective, what used to be used and was pretty common in resumes, and then what they've moved to now, which is the profile, where you can, really indicate what sets you apart from other applicants in the field. So if I scroll down, I'll notice that my education section is here, awards and recognition. All of my notes and explanations are going to be in red. And then I have my work history laid out here by timeline. All right, so let me exit out of here. They also have a functional resume, which means rather than listing your jobs chronologically, you're going to list them based on the value of the experience to what you're applying to now. So if we click there, again, it's going to open as a Word document. I'm going to click on the down arrow, click open, and it's going to show me a different template if I want to focus on experience, regardless of when I gain that experience. So here you'll see the profile of qualifications, grouping all of our work experience with the title and company listed separately below. Again, you'll notice in red that there are tips and tricks, explanations for things that you're seeing on the template. I'm going to exit out of here. And then last but not least, they give you an example of a combination. So combining both the chronological and the functional. Again, we'll have a template that you can fill in your information, use as you'd like, revise as you like, change stylistically to meet your needs. And again, we've got the summary of qualifications, and then we've got the jobs listed in chronological order with a little bit more detail below. So these are really great to browse through, get a sense of what works best for you in your job hunt. All right, so I can go back either one of two ways. I can click home, or I can use the back arrow on my browser. So we've gone through resume templates. Next, I'm going to show you what Resume Resources has to offer. Now, the first three options here are what we already looked at in Resume Resources, the templates and the types. What I wanted to highlight in this section is there are a lot of great resources for our veteran community. Normally when the library is open, we have our fabulous Veterans Resource Center, but since that feature is closed right now, I wanted to let everyone know the online free resources we have for veterans in the meantime. So you'll notice here that they have a lot of resources for veterans, recent or otherwise, that are looking to transition their resume from a military resume to a civilian resume. So you'll see military resume templates, free resume writing tutorial, military skills translator, whichever of these you decide to click on. Sometimes it'll take you to an article where you can find more information. Sometimes it'll be, a worksheet on how to translate the skills. But I just wanted to show you this to give you a sense that there still are veterans resources despite our services not being fully open right now. So that's a really great one to explore as well. All right, I'm going to click the back arrow this time to go back. So we've done resume templates, resume resources, Resume Lab. So you'll notice this is one of the features that I have to be signed into my account to access. But again, creating an account is completely free, really easy. So say that I'm working on a resume draft at home and I really want to get some real-time feedback from someone that's a bit more of an expert than myself. What I could do is I could upload the copy of my resume here, and I could add my comments or questions and then submit it for feedback. So if I'm really looking, to refine my summary of qualifications, I can write here, I would like to focus on refining my summary of qualifications. And then I would attach my resume here. From computer would be directly from my computer, but they also have the option in my account to have my cloud pack, which you should be able to upload or download attachments here and then choose from there. So I'm including my resume, I'm including what I want to focus on. If you'd like to focus on, I would like to revise the gaps in my resume. Say you're grappling with having a couple of gaps in your resume and you want to know the best way to present that to employers, then you could put that here and click submit. So that's a really great feature of this, where you're really getting expert advice from people reviewing your resume, which is always fabulous. The last feature under resumes that I wanted to show you is this live resume expert. Keep in mind that this feature is available from 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. Pacific time. So because I'm recording this a little bit earlier than when they're open, I'm not going to click on it here, but if you did click on it, it would take you to a chat box where a representative at JobNow, introduces themselves and asks how they can help. So if you had a particular resume question, this would be a great feature to use to really clarify that point and figure out how you wanted to present your resume. All right, fabulous. So the next thing I'm going to move on to is job interviews. Okay, so let's explore our interview tips first. So you'll notice here that I have topics. So if I just found out that I have a resume with a company that I'm really excited about, what I want to do is review before the interview. This is really going to set me up for what I need to use and have to be prepared to wow the interviewers that I will be meeting. So they have sample questions, they have discussion topics, things that you can just review before you go in so that you feel confident and prepared. Another great one that I wanted to highlight is common questions and sample responses. And I also wanted to give an additional tip to what JobNow is saying. So you'll notice here, most employers will ask you about your strengths and weaknesses. Those can be tied up in different presentations of packages. They might not ask you directly, but one of the great pieces of advice here is, what is your greatest weakness? The sample response basically says that you want to present almost like a strength as a weakness. You'll notice in the don't overdo it. While you want to sell your weaknesses as strengths, if you oversell it, it might backfire. For instance, if you say that your greatest weakness is, I work too hard, you might be laying it on too thick. One of the sample responses they give here is, I am sometimes too hard on myself, which can be a good response. What I have learned and heard, being in the job market in the last 5 years myself, is that now the canned responses are moving from, kind of playing off a strength as a weakness to being really honest about what your weaknesses are, and then presenting to the employer how you have tackled and worked on that to improve. So, for example, let's use a slightly different example. You could say, as a team member, I have trouble delegating tasks to other team members. I tend to take on too much on myself. And so that's an honest response, figuring out how to work better as a team, to delegate better as a team. But then what you would want to offer the employer is how you have worked on that in the past. So if in my present position, the way that I've worked on that is to schedule more check-in meetings so that we all know where we are, and the team members that maybe have less on their plate can help those with more on their plate. Or, setting a weekly goal to help, to help guide my actions. Whereas maybe before, if I didn't have it written down, I would take on 3 tasks myself. In this present job, I've really prioritized writing down what 2 or 3 tasks I can help delegate to other teammates, something like that. So again, that's not the best example, but I just wanted to add to the advice of JobNow that is something that I have heard is really useful in the current workforce, is to be honest about your weaknesses, but then show how you've worked to improve those, because it shows that you're resourceful, that you're aware of your limits, and that you really do want to work to drive a collaborative team effort forward. Okay, so now I'm just gonna, again, I could do home or I could do back. I'll just do back. After the interview is another great one. I just wanted to highlight, asking follow-up questions is really great, and sending a thank you note at the end of the interview. This was something that was always drilled into me as I was job hunting. Having a handwritten note that you can drop in the mail right after the interview, writing a handwritten note after the interview that you can leave with the receptionist of whichever interviewer you met with, writing a personalized note so that they remember you, thanking them for something really particular that you appreciated. Those are all great ideas. All right, so we're going to go back to home. So that's a great section that you can explore the interview tips. Online resources. This is another great culmination of resources online. Just additional tips for interview success, for questions that you can practice, ways to dress for the interview so that you're putting your best foot forward. I wanted to click on this one, which I thought was really great, 100 potential interview questions. So this is going to be a monster article, but the great thing is it has so many different questions that you can look through. I think most of us, there's already this natural feeling of nervousness, anxiousness when we're in an interview. You know, I think that the interviewer to some extent expects it because we all just want to present our best selves and be able to truly communicate how valuable we are to an organization. And I think part of that is the more that you can practice before you go into the interview, the more that you can see potential questions that may be asked and run through those in your mind, the less you'll feel caught off guard or like a deer in the headlights. So this is a really great resource of just looking through a large quantity of questions, working out your answer, you know, just kind of having it in the back of your mind so that if it is asked of you, you've at least seen it or some, you know, iteration of that question once before, and you just feel that much more confident asking. All right, so I'm going to exit out of this external link here, and we are going to go back to online resources. So that's just an extra section there that you can explore. Just as with the Live Resume Expert, they offer live interview coaching, which is so invaluable. So again, because I'm filming this at the hours that it is not offered, the hours being 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. Pacific time, I'm not going to click here, but if I did, it would take me to a live chat session with an expert on the other end. I could ask them pointed questions and get clarification on anything that I may feel nervous about when it comes to interviewing. All right, so third and final section, career. There's quite a few offerings here, and I am going to go through them one at a time. So just like with Live Resume Expert and Live Interview Coach, there's also a live career coach option. Their hours are the same as the previous two, 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. Pacific time. If you had any particular questions about where to start in your job search, what you might be most qualified for, how to apply and really, you know, hone the specifications of a particular position that you're interested in, this would be a great resource to use. So I would just click here and a live chat box would open where someone could help me with that. If I want a, you know, ready to go resource list, I could click on career assessments. Whether you're a recently graduated student from high school or college and you're looking for your first career, whether you may be interested in a change in career, say you've been doing something for quite a while and you feel like it's not the best fit and you'd like to start exploring what your other options are, this is a great place to start. So let me show you, they have, I'm going to click on the career aptitude test, the human metrics here. So this career assessment is based on the Myers-Briggs typology, where it's really assessing the personality type and then what careers that may be a good fit for. So if I was interested in taking this assessment, all I would do is go through all of the questions and choose from anywhere from strongly agree to neutral to strongly disagree. I would complete that, and then at the very bottom, click score it, and then that would come up with a listing of what careers I might be interested in exploring. I'm gonna go back here. Some of the other options would be closer to, you know, a career zone self-assessment where, you know, based on what kind of money you want to make, based on your interests, based on how important the, you know, type of work environment is for you, or what skills you'll be able to use in your career. This is another great resource, you know, that includes a culmination of fun and free career assessments that you could take. All right, next, the next thing I wanted to highlight is the job resources section here. So you'll notice we have nationwide and local resources for job seekers. So local is going to show us state and city or county-wide options. So if I was interested in applying with Cal Jobs, I could click here and it'll usually open an external site. you know, I could create an account, I could job search here. If I was interested in finding job postings on Indeed, particular to Tulare, remember that we do have the quick search field on the jobs now, but if I wanted to go here, I could do that as well. Career Builder for Tulare, Monster, Snag a Job. So those are local. They also have general job sites here. But if I wanted to take a look at national resources, I would click here and you'll notice they have all of the job sites that you can imagine: ZipRecruiter, My Next Move, Simply Hired, Career Builder, Monster, Idealist, After College. We even have particular job sites especially designed for veterans. Again, I just want to highlight the veteran services that we do have available right now, which is, you know, always great to have access to. So a lot of different options here for job postings. So please keep in mind that that is one place that you can go to browse your options. Okay, so another one I wanted to show you, I'm going to skip SkillSurfer. There's a lot to explore there, so we'll do that last. I'm going to go to, I'll show you what this EParachute is. EParachute is particularly honed for, you know, when you're deciding to embark on a college career or a, you know, one of your first jobs. This is just another great way to assess what interests you, what your strengths are, and what areas to explore. This one is based in written responses. So this is a great way to be as specific as you want. You know, you're not having to choose multiple choice answers. You can use real specificity and indicate what you're interested in, and then, you know, get help with and listings of what directions that you could really look into. Okay, so that's EParachute. Next, I wanted to show you Optimal Resume. So Optimal Resume provides, while we get loaded here, so Optimal Resume is a third party that provides academic and career assistance for libraries. So what you would do is, it just requires some basic information to get all signed up and be able to use their services, which I haven't done yet, but if I was going to, I would do it here. And then what I wanted to show you that I think is really valuable is here at the bottom. So we have live trainings and recorded trainings. I've noticed that whichever you choose, both live and recorded trainings are listed. So I'm gonna click on view here. So if I was interested in a resume builder tutorial, I could click on this option and go through the recorded training of how to do that from the comfort of my home. They have options like styling your resume, letter builder, interview module, portfolio builder, website module tutorial, a lot of great resources there. The other thing I wanted to show you, and we're recording this, or this will be posted on July 9th, which is great because they do have an upcoming scheduled training today as well as next Thursday, the 16th. So if I was, you know, interested in getting more tips on interviewing, I could click here. And if I was interested in styling my resume to my particular guidelines and likes, then I could view and attend this scheduled training. So again, another great place to look if you're interested in live virtual programming while you're at home, if you're interested in getting additional help resources for resumes and career building in particular. A great place to do that is the recorded trainings under the Optimal Resume. So let me go back here. I'm just going to close out of that. All right, so last but not least is our SkillSurfer. I absolutely love this section. I think it has so much to offer, and so I wanted to take a moment to just walk you through everything that's available here. Okay, so it's broken down into age group or you know, transition phase of your life. So for high school students, if you're interested in getting extra reading help, writing help, math help, science help, social studies help by grade level, you could always click, say I'm interested in freshman level writing. If I click into that help section, it's going to give me the option for practice tests. It's going to give me writing lessons. You know, if I'm interested in learning more about the 5-paragraph essay or editing and rewriting, developing a thesis, developing paragraphs, persuasive essays, narrative writing. It just has so many options for extra free help that I can get. So this is a really, really great area to explore. Now, when I'm in the Skill Surfer module, the way that I can navigate and go back is you'll notice that I have my hyperlinks here. So I'm in grade writing, I want to go back to high school. So I'm just going to click there and it'll take me back to where I belong. The other thing that I wanted to highlight is JobNow has practice tests for AP exams. So for any of you high school students that are gearing up for AP tests, you'll notice they have quite a big variety here. So let's say I'm taking AP US Government. I'm going to click here. They have a prep pack available, and then they also have practice tests. So what I'm going to do now, say that I've been studying and I'm ready to take the AP US Government practice test. I'm going to click on the practice test here. And you'll notice that I can toggle on the left-hand side. So here it looks like they have 2 practice tests. If I wanted to start, I could click here. And it's set up in a question and multiple choice answer format. So I could read the question, answer here, and then click next to move on. So that's a really important feature here. So I'm going to go back to AP US Government. And I want to go back a little bit further. I want to go back to high school again. So say that I'm taking AP US Government and I'm also taking AP Biology. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to click and I'm going to click on the practice test. So they have prep materials that you can review and my practice test here. The reason I wanted to go into these practice tests and show you how these work is because I want to show you how they appear in my free account under JobNow. So, you know, say that I'm reading my answers, choosing, and then completing and submitting the practice test. I'm going to go back, and I'm going to go back again because I want to show you now I can go into my account. So again, this is just at the top of where we were, and I'm going to click into my tests. When you have a free account, you'll notice that the AP practice test that you click on will show up in your My Test section. So this is a great way to track progress, to have, you know, the summary of all of the AP test practice that you're trying out. That way you're not having to go into each section and click around. You just have a one-stop shop where all of your tests are logged here. I signed up for additional tests yesterday, and you'll notice that, you know, once you take the test in full, your score will appear here, and you also have the option to retake a test here. So I just wanted to show you that section, knowing that it's a great place to track all of those things. You'll also notice on the left-hand side, there's also a toolbar. You know, if you're interested in getting extra writing lab help or sending a particular question, you can do that here as well. Okay, so let's go home. Let's go back to where we were. So I'm in Career Skill Surfer. I'm in high school, and I think that sums up. Oh, yes. Okay, so we have our AP exams, and then notice we also have practice tests and prep packages for high school equivalency tests, including the GED. So that's also a great free resource if you're looking to study for that. Under college interest test prep, we have practice tests and prep packs for the PSAT, the SAT, the ACT. Again, our AP tests are listed here, as well as the TOEFL, the TOEIC, the CLEP, and the THEA, as well as nursing entrance exams. So really, really great free test prep resources here. Under College Now, we have information about the college application process, how to apply, and the next steps after the application process. So that would be a great resource to browse if you are college bound. Okay, the college placement test, we have the AccuPlacer and the Right Placer, AccuPlacer, forgive me, and the Right Placer listed here. So those are additional free resources. Under the college section, so this is going to be college level English, mathematics, and science. So say that you're enrolled in college and you wanted a little bit extra help, but for some reason you didn't have access to a live tutor. You know, whether it's because there are restrictions on campuses right now, say that you really wanted some extra help during a time when you and your tutor aren't meeting. This is just another great way to be able to review material and then either work on interactive quizzes or practice tests regarded to those materials. So again, I'm going to go back to college. And those are my offerings there. Career prep and job resources, forgive me. So in this section, it's really great because depending on what type of career you want to go into, say you're interested in becoming an electrician, I would find it, I would click on it there. So I have informational resource guides about an electrician career. I have practice tests, I have, occupational outlook. So say I was interested in electrical proficiency practice tests after I had studied. I would click here, and again, you can toggle on the left-hand side, and then you can start your test. So some of these tests will be in the JobNow program. I'm gonna exit out of here for now. And some of these tests, if I go here, say that I'm interested in, finding outside resources on the electrical contractor licensing boards. I could click here, and some of the options will take you to an external website. So you are leaving Brainfuse site, that's an indicator there, and I'm gonna click there, and then I will get a lot of information based on state about who I can contact if I have questions, about who conducts the exams, about schools if I'm interested. So it's a really great place to find not only internal job and practice resources, but external, depending on your area and your area of interest as well. All right, so I'm going to minimize this. We also get questions here in the library about ASVAB resources. So in addition to checking out an ASVAB test prep book, you could always go to JobNow and explore the free online offerings. So we've got the preparation package, we've got the practice depending on test section. So that's a really great resource as well. I'm going to save computers and technology and go through the rest of these. I wanted to spend a little bit more time in computers and technology, so we'll do that last. Undergraduate school entrance test prep, we have prep guides as well as full-length practice tests for both the GRE and the GMAT. Really great resource there as well. For our adult learner resources, we have basic to advanced reading, writing, critical thinking, math skills. So if there's a particular area that you wanted to brush up on, say it's been a while since you've been in school, and say you're helping your kids with homework, or you encountered a problem that you didn't quite know how to solve, this is a great resource for brushing up on those, brushing up on those skill sets. Again, we'll also have the ASVAB listed here, the TABE. The other thing that I wanted to highlight is, so we have the GED listed here as well as the nursing school practice test, but a really great offering is US Citizenship. So we have a test preparation guide here. So whether you're interested in flashcards for naturalization test, US citizenship question and answers, they are offered in different languages as well as in English. And then test questions as well. So if you are studying for the naturalization or the US citizenship test guide, this is a great place to practice. Likewise, the US citizenship practice tests are here. All right, so I'm going to go back to adult learner. So a really great place for extra resources on US citizenship. Likewise, ESL, English as a second language. If you are looking for resources to practice your language learning skills, particularly English, whether you're looking at reading, writing, or grammar, you can go through these lessons and take, you can look at parts of speech, you can take quizzes. It's just a really great place to review those items. We also have academic ESL, TOEFL, and college readiness references. All right, last but not least, I wanted to show you this computers and technology section. So before our actual building closed down, a lot of the questions that we get in the computer lab are centered on Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, and what you can do with those programs. Because our library staff isn't always able to help with particular questions in that regard, sometimes we may not have the time, sometimes it may be something that we haven't had to use ourselves. I wanted to let you know that this is a great a great place to find those self-help resources. And the thing that I really love about this, so let's just go into Microsoft Word, for example. Say that you're a complete beginner. So broken down by topic or by thing that you want to achieve in Word, there are tutorials here. And the thing that I love about these tutorials is they have both text and visual aids. So let's say that you're interested in formatting text. I'm going to click here. You'll notice that on the left-hand side, I will have my toggle. So, you know, within this help group, I can jump around. You know, if I'm in formatting text and then I think, you know what, that's really interesting. And I'd also be interested in, you know, using find and replace for the text that I'm formatting. Then you can click in here. The great thing about these tutorials are they have written instructions, and then they also give you a visual aid of what tab to look in and what drop downs to use. So if I scroll down, it's going to show me how to format text from the size of type all the way to whether or not I want borders underlined, what text or font I want, format painter. It's just a really great way to walk yourself through what you want to learn step by step. Okay, so I'm going to go back here. I'm going to go back to computers and technology. Say the same thing, I wanted to do Excel. So I could go, if I'm an advanced Excel user and I want a refresher on pivot tables, pivot table fields, I could click here. Again, they're going to have written instructions as well as visual aids. I use this feature a lot. You know, as confident as I feel in certain areas of Word and Excel, I'm sure we all come across those issues that we just don't face that much, and we just need a refresher. So JobNow offers such a great reference point for whether you're a beginner or an advanced user, really brushing up on the Microsoft Office suite. They also have computer programming languages here, C++ certification, Java certification, and SQL certification. And this is another one of those that if I want to take and track my practice tests, I can start here. And then as soon as I go back to my account, if I go into my tests, I'll notice that everything that I've been choosing is in my test section here. I can click, I can retake as needed and as wanted. All right, so lastly, I'm going to go back home here, back into Skill Surfer, because I just wanted to make sure that we dotted all of our I's and crossed all of our T's. Yes, that looks like it. Okay, perfect. So this has just been, let me go home here. I know this has been brief. This is really just touched upon what JobNow offers to both, people that are looking for jobs for the first time, people that have been in the workforce for quite some time and are looking to make a change or are looking to move up the ladder. There's so many great resources here, and I really do encourage you to click around, explore, see what you can find. Again, this is open and free to library patrons with their library card. And yeah, if you come across anything, if you start to explore more and you find a feature that we didn't discuss in this virtual demo today, please comment in the comment section. Give us a sense of what you found, how it served you. We always love to hear feedback about how you're using our online services. Thank you again, everyone, so much for joining me on this virtual demo, this walkthrough today. I hope that JobNow ends up being as beneficial and useful to you as it has been to me. Again, feel free to comment with any helpful tips or questions that you may come across. And happy searching, happy hunting while you incorporate JobNow into your resume building or job hunting strategy. Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful day.